Okay, for my part, I will be discussing to you about the implementing rules and regulation of the RA 10912, which has two resolutions, which is the PRC Resolution 1032 series of 2017 and PRC Resolution 1146. The PRC Resolution 1032 series of 2017, which is the original resolution, and the PRC Resolution 1146 is the resolution that amends the PRC Resolution number 1032 series of 2017. I will just highlight the sections that are amended by the Resolution 1146 series of 2019, because some of those sections and some of the containing sections on the PRC 1032 is already discussed by my group mates, because the sections that is here on the PRC Resolution 1032 is already there in the RA 10912. Okay, so the PRC Resolution number 1032 series of 2017, which shall be known as the Implementing Rules and Regulation of Republic Act 10912, otherwise known as the Continuing Professional Development Act of 2016. It is hereby declared that the policy of the state and upgrade the practice of professions in the country. So the PRC Resolution 1032 is declared to issue and update the improvement of the guidelines for the continuing professional development in the Philippines. It was declared to ensure that professionals regularly update their skills and knowledge and help them to maintain their high standards in their respective fields. Moving on to my discussion, moving on to section 3 of the resolution, which is the definition of terms. And some of these definition of terms containing here in the PRC Resolution 1032 is not that aligned in our profession, which is in teaching. So I just highlighted the sections and the subsections that are amended by the PRC Resolution 1146. One amended subsections here is the 3.27, which is the Philippine Professional Identification Card, which is the PIC. So the PIC, I will just explain this now kasi this is already, I just resumed my discussion a while ago. So the Professional Identification Card is the official card given to the registered professionals. It shows their registration letter, registration number, the issued and expiry dates of the license, and it is signed by the PRC chairperson. The PIC acts as the professional license required by the law stated in Republic Act 10912 and must be renewed regularly. So, moving on to another section, which is the section 8, Powers, Functions, and Responsibilities of the CPD Council. The CPD Council is for each profession shall have, but not limited to the following powers, functions, and responsibilities. So I have here also the subsection that is amended by the PRC Resolution 1146, which is the 8.2.4 accreditation of CPD programs. A CPD provider shall apply for accreditation of its program to the CPD Council. It explains that the CPD provider must apply for accreditation to the CPD Council for their program to be accredited or approved. When applying, the provider must state how many times they plan to offer the program, as this affects the fees. Yes. Provider shall indicate the number of times the program shall be offered to determine the fee. Excuse me. But this needs approval for them to be relevant to the CPD Council. Moving on to the rule number 3, as you can see, this is the resolution. I just printed it out because it has so many subsections that are deleted in the PRC Resolution No. 1146 series of 2019. And from 10.1, registered and licensed professionals shall complete the required credit units every 3 years for off compliance period. So, as you hear, that professionals must complete a certain number of CPD credit units every 3 years to renew their licenses. If you do not meet the required credit units, you cannot renew your license as provided by the CPD program. Yes. Any excess credit units shall not be carried over to the next 3-year period except for the credit units earned from doctorate and master's degrees or specialty trainings, which shall only be individually credited only once during the entire compliance period. If professionals earn more CPD credit units than required in the 3-year period, the extra units cannot be carried over to the next period. However, credit units earned from completing doctorate, master's, and special trainings can be credited, but only once in the entire 3 years period. Okay. So moving on to another subsection deleted in the 1146, which is the 10.2. The table below shall be used as reference for the renewal of the PIC in the transitory period. However, the PRB, or the Professional Regulatory Board concerned, may prescribe their own required CPD units through a resolution subject to the approval by the Commission. So here, we have the PIC renewal period, January to June 2017, zero minimum credit units required for the profession. July to December 2017, 30%. January to December 2018, 60%, and January 2019 onwards, which is 100%. Now, moving on to another subsection of the Resolution 1032 series of 2017, which is the 10.4. Yes, 10.4. Professionals working overseas may take programs, seminars through the foreign chapters or affiliates of accredited CPD providers. Yes, allowing professionals working abroad to take or to earn CPD credit units by attending programs or seminars offered by the foreign chapters or affiliates of affected CPD providers. They can also attend seminars or trainings to the non-accredited providers and apply for credit with their CPD council under the self-direct or lifelong learning track, meaning they can still earn credit units through independent learning or informal learning while abroad. They may also attend seminars or trainings conducted by non-accredited providers. Yes, they can apply for credit units with their respective CPD councils under self-direct or lifelong learning. Now, lastly, for this resolution, the final amended part, which is the section 11, the recognition of credit units. All duly validated and recognized by the CPD credit units earned by a professional shall be accumulated and transferred from academic to professional and vice versa, in accordance with the pathways and equivalencies of the Philippine Qualification Framework, or the PQF. So, the section 11 explains that all CPD credit units earned by a professional, once validated and recognized, can be transferred and counted between academic and professional fields. This means that credit units earned in academic programs can be recognized in professional settings and vice versa. It also ensures smooth transitions between education and professional development. Now moving on to the Professional Regulatory Commission, Resolution number 1146. I will just read this. 1146, series of 2019. This resolution is the amendment of the resolution number 1032 series of 2017, and some sections here are already, no, it's not yet discussed. I will discuss it. And the resolution is divided into 6 parts. 6 sections. It states that the following amendments in the each sections amended the Resolution 1032 series of 2017, which I discussed earlier. So, this resolution shall be known as amending relevant provisions of Resolution 1032 series of 2017, otherwise known as implementing rules and regulations of RA 10912. RA 10912, known as the Continuing Professional Development Act of 2016. So in Section 1, Section 3.27 is hereby amended to be read as Professional Identification Card. Yes. As I said earlier, this is a card that is given to the professional as their license, and it bears the registration number, issued and expiry dates, and it is signed by the PRC chairperson. However, the amended part here is that PIC is renewable every 3 years upon compliance with the requirements by the law. By the law, which means the RA 10912. Section 2, which is the Section 8.2.4, is hereby amended to be read as Section 8.2.4, Accreditation of Programs. And the amended part here is the last paragraph, which is the in-house training. In-house training programs and capacity building activities of government agencies and government corporations, including local government units and private employers, shall be accredited and considered as CPD compliance of their employed professionals. Okay. In Section 8.2.4, this statement means that training programs and capacity building activities conducted by the government agencies and government corporations can be officially recognized and accredited as valid continuing professional development activities. So, some of the capacity building activities conducted by government agencies can also be accredited as the as CPD credit units. This recognition allows employed professionals who participate in these programs to count them towards their CPD compliance requirements, helping them fulfill their professional development obligations. Yes, as I said, joining capacity building activities conducted by government agencies can be accredited as continuing professional development activities. Moving on to the major amendment of this law, which is the Section 10, CPD as mandatory requirement in the renewal of professional license and accreditation systems for the practice of professions. This is hereby deleted and amended by the PRC Resolution 1146 series of 2019. In subsection 10.1, the implementation of this provision shall provide a transition period to develop the necessary standards, processes, capacities, and infrastructure while minimizing the costs and inconvenience to professionals covered by the requirement. Attached here too is the Annex A. I will just flash here, the Annex A is the list of the priority deliverables and antecedent requirements for the full implementation of the CPD Act of 2016. These provisions indicates that there will be a transition period during which necessary standards, processes, capacity, and infrastructure implementing the CPD Act of 2016 will be developed. The goal is to ensure that the transition minimizing the costs and inconvenience to the professionals covered by the requirements. Moving on to the 10.2 subsection of the Section 10. During this transition period, the following shall be observed. Letter A. Professionals working overseas shall not be covered by the CPD requirements. Letter B. Newly licensed professionals shall not be covered by the CPD requirement for the first renewal cycle after obtaining their license. So, new licensed professionals shall not be covered by the CPD requirement for the first renewal after obtaining their license. Letter C. The various CPD councils shall reduce the required CPD credit units to a minimum, which shall not be more than 15 credit units as provided for under applicable laws. In the past years, the CPD credit units required is 45 credit units. Now, the CPD credit units shall reduce required CPD credit units to a minimum, which shall not be more than 15. So 15 is the maximum, I guess. credit units shall refer to the value of an amount of learning achieved from formal, informal, or non-formal learning, including professional work, experience wherein credits can be accumulated to predetermined levels for the award of a qualification. This section defines that CPD credit units as the measure of learning gained from various types of education and professional experience, which can be accumulated to meet the certain qualification requirements. Provided, however, that the following shall not be covered during this transition period. Letter A, where professional regulatory laws or the PRLs of covered professionals require compliance with a specific number of CPD credit units for the renewal of the PIC. Where am I? Okay. If the professional regulatory laws or the PRLs for certain professions require a specific number of CPD credit units for renewing the professional identification card, those requirements will still be in effect. Letter B, where the professional intends to practice the profession in countries covered by bilateral, regional, or international agreements in which CPD is a recognition and eligibility requirement, such as the ASEAN Mutual Recognition Agreements or the MRAs. So, in countries that are covered by bilateral, regional, or international agreements, like the ASEAN, MRAs, where CPD is necessary for recognition, they must still comply with those CPD requirements. Moving on to the subsection 10.3, the transition period allowing the gradual and efficient implementation of the objectives of the CPD Act of 2016 shall expire after the antecedents had been met upon the recommendation of the CPD councils through their respective boards and approved by the Commission. This states that the transition period implementing the CPD Act of 2016 will end once necessary preliminary requirements have been fulfilled. Okay, again, it will end once all necessary preliminary requirements have been fulfilled. This conclusion will be based on the recommendations made by the CPD councils, which will be approved by the Commission. Essentially, the transition period is designed to ensure that everything is in place before fully enforcing the CPD requirements. Okay. Lastly, we amended and added subsection, which is the 10.4 and the 10.5. After the transition period, while the CPD Act of 2016 shall be applied in its entirety, measures shall always be ensured to address issues raised in its implementation. This indicates that after the transition period, the CPD Act of 2016 will be fully enforced, but there will be ongoing efforts to address any issues that arise during its implementation. Now next, the pursuit of continuing the lifelong learning shall not be curtailed, and on-the-job, non-formal and informal learning shall be encouraged. This emphasizes that the importance of continuing and lifelong learning will remain a priority. It encourages professionals to engage in on-the-job training, as well as non-formal learning and informal learning opportunities to support the ongoing development. Lastly, we have section 4, which is the section 11, lastly, the section 11. The section 11, all duly validated and recognized CPD units earned by a professional shall among others be accumulated and transferred in accordance with the pathways and equivalencies of the PQF. So it states here that after validating and recognizing the CPD credit units earned by the professional shall be accumulated and transferred in accordance with the pathways and equivalencies of the PQF. Yes, that is. In section 5, I think this is not that amended, but these are added in the resolution numbers sections 14, 15, and subsections 15.1, 15.2, and 15.3. Here, I know. Yeah. Section 14, I will just read it. Section 14, presumptive approval. All CPD programs duly submitted for accreditation shall be deemed approved after 10 working days. I think this is already discussed by Ms. Joanna. CPD program submitted from receipt thereof if no feedback from the CPD councils is received. Thereafter, the CPD providers shall be allowed to offer the same, provided that the applicable rule of awarding of credit units is strictly observed. The CPD council or its designated monitors shall evaluate the implementation of the programs or services offered. Fraudulent acts in the implementation of the CPD program are punishable under the pertinent provisions and applicable laws. The applicable law here is the RA 10912, Continuing Professional Development Act of 2016. Here in the section 15, the supplementary provisions, 15.1, the boards and their respective credit units are given a period of one month to consult with their stakeholders for the review of their operational guidelines and to accordingly amend the same to conform with this insurance. And lastly, we have the 15.2. I'm really sorry, this is too small. I forgot to change the settings. But anyway, 15.2, CPD providers with valid accreditation at the time this resolution takes effect may still continue their public offering of CPD programs and award the corresponding CPD credit units approved by the concerned CPD councils. Professionals who executed an undertaking prior to the effectivity of this resolution shall only comply with the required number of credit units as amended pursuant in this resolution equivalent to not more than 15 credit units. This is what I'm telling, that it cannot be more credit units required, only 15. Sections, in section 5, it states that sections 15 to 19 in rule number 4, resolution resolution 1032 series of 2017 are hereby renumbered as sections 16 to 21 respectively. Section 6, repealing clause, sections 3.27, subsection 8.2.4, subsection 10.1, 10.2, 10.3, and 10.4, and section 11 of the resolution 1032 series of 2017 are hereby repealed or modified accordingly. And lastly, the last section, which is the section 7, effectivity, the resolution shall take effect after 15 days following its publication in the official gazette or in a newspaper of general circulation, copy furnished in the UP Law Center. Done this 7th day of February 2019 in Manila, Philippines. To answer your question, ma'am, why did the IRR took effect in 2017 when it is already done in 2016? It is because the implementing rules and regulations of Republic Act of 10912 took effect in 2017, November 13, 2017, to be exact, because it is common for laws to require time for their provisions to be detailed and operationalized through IRRs. While the law itself may have been enacted in 2016, the IRR is necessary to clarify how the law will be applied in practice, including setting standards and processes. The development and approval of these regulations can take additional time, which is why the IRR became effective in 2017, November 13, 2017 to be exact. Yes, so that ends my resumed report or the continued report a while ago. So I hope this explains the Resolution 1032 series of 2017 and the PRC Resolution 1146 series of 2019 and its amendments.